So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, thou shalt hear the word of my mouth, and warn them from me.
Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them.
Coming to you from an undisclosed location in Middle Tennessee and examining current events from a biblical perspective, this is Bible News Radio with your hosts, Randall and Stacy Harp.
Okay, hey everybody, happy Friday. Can you believe it's Friday, people? It's Friday. It's Friday. Yeah, it is. Totally Friday. Yeah, it is. Welcome to Bible News Radio. Thank you for coming on in. Today on our show, I have a special co-host. Yeah, he is. He's special to me. He is my one and only Bareface. Yeah, he is. So I'm going to go ahead and share this out over on Facebook. Don't forget, if you're on Facebook, if you're even on the replay, you can say replay hello, so I can give a shout out to you. Say hi to all you people.
When will Bareface be joining us?
All you people on Periscope. See how I ignored that. Anyway, hello everybody. There's Tracy. And there's Steven, and Melanie, and Mia. Hearts and Stars. Dory, Tony, Ronald, Ramnus. Gary's Only Girls here, DBLKT. I don't know how to say that, but anyway. Hello, shalom, Gary. Marty is here. Thank you guys for coming in. Okay, so I know that this is your favorite show of the week. So, wait a minute. Stop it. It's the joy of having your sound go through the computer. Hi, Sherry. All right. Okay, really? Stop that. I don't want anybody calling me during the show. That's right, people. That was Eric. Beverly. Hi, Beverly. That's right. I remember now that you said that. I don't know about you, but it's been a fast week this week. You know? It really has.
We had a little bit of a break.
Yeah, we did.
Midweek. Took a day off on a Wednesday, so that kind of...
I'm cleverly turning down the volume as we speak. I'm so clever. Talented.
Yes, you are. Multitasking, even.
It's hard to do this. People, you guys really don't know how much we do here.
Mm-hmm. She can talk and turn down the volume.
I can turn down your mic.
Good.
If I want to, Randall's like, I dare you. I double dog dare you to turn down my mic. Mm-hmm. I know that look.
So no such thing.
He's so cute.
Body.
All right, so here we are, gathered together as a family, bound as one, lifting up our voices to the King of Kings.
Well, we should do that if we're going
singing,
to do that.
Alleluia. I don't know how many.
Abba, Father.
No, that's not the song.
Worthy is you. No.
Is it? I don't think so.
I've sung it that way anyway.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Okay. People. Oh, and Oddvar's here. Okay, so I gotta tell you this story. If you're on Bullhorn, you might have already heard this. By the way, getbullhorn.com. You guys can go there. You can get where Randall puts up almost every day. And this is a mobile app you can download. And I actually give commentary. So a couple of days ago, I noticed that my window bird feeder, it's one of these square ones. It's got the three suction cups there, and I put all the bird food in there, and all these beautiful birds, they come, the mourning doves, and then the
afternoon
the
doves and the
Cardinals
evening doves.
and the Mr. and Mrs. Mahoney, the Cardinals come. Hi, yeah, Steven's on Bullhorn. I actually was listening to some of his stuff too. You can follow him too. Anyway, all these beautiful birds, they come, right? And then one day I went out and there was a squirrel trying to get into the bird feeder. And I was like, there's no way a squirrel can get into the bird feeder because it's on my window. It's stuck to my window. And anyway, long story short, we figured out this little girl squirrel was able to climb up the screen and then scamper up to the actual bird feeder there. And anyway, get inside and start eating the bird food. The MS stands for Masters of Science. I have a Masters of Science in clinical psychology. I used to do marriage and family therapy for a number of years when we lived in California. Thank you for asking. Anyway, okay, and so meanwhile, so this morning or yesterday, I was like, my bird feeder is crooked, and I'm like, okay, it's the humidity, the suction cups are like totally like making the bird feeders go down the window. I got to go out and I got to fix it, right? And so I'm like going out there, I'm trying to fix it, and I fixed it. Well, this afternoon, after Bareface so lovingly made me my lunch dinner, it's dinner, I go out and I'm sitting there and the squirrel is back. I thought she was gone, but no, she's back. And so so this is my window, right? And the bird feeder's up here. And so the little squirrel's coming up here like this. And she's like, I see some bird seed down there. So she turns around, she goes back down. And she gets some bird seed. And then she turns around, she goes back up. Then she flips herself down and she goes back down. She's like, there's more bird seed down there. But you know what? I think there's more up here. So I'm going to go back up. So she goes back up. She gets on the window and the bird feeder's up here. She jumps to get onto the bird feeder. The bird feeder slips down. All the bird seed starts coming out. And the squirrel just did this complete flip. I mean, it was like a total flying squirrel thing. It was so funny. I busted up laughing because I thought this little squirrel, little rodent, is going to be the end of me. So anyway, so then I was like, I have to admit, I busted up laughing because I thought it was funny. I should have been hitting the window to get her off it, but she's so cute that I, just couldn't at the moment. So when she actually was doing what she did, I was like, she's the one. She's the one that made the bird feeder slip down. So I had to go back. So then next thing you know, I'm looking out the window and there she is on the back of her paws and she's looking up here. She's eating out of her little claws and just feasting away on all the bird seed. So now she's got like at least a cup of bird seed at her disposal. I'm expecting Chip and Dale to be there tomorrow for a feast of the bird food. And meanwhile, Mr. and Mrs. Cardinal Mahoney are going to be going, really? I seriously can't believe that she got all our food. What's with that? Anyway, so that was that. I got this phone call twice from my father's assisted living, and I'm hoping, let's see if they left me a message. Let me see. They called just a minute ago, and I denied the call. They haven't left a message, so we'll see how that goes. You know how it is when you have an old parent.
They have not called me yet.
They haven't called you yet. So,
No.
Well, if there's an emergency, they'll call Randall.
Uh-oh, you just moved the camera.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So anyway, that's my squirrel story. That's what I'm sticking to it. I don't know if you guys, squirrels are nice, but they can be a big pest. You know what I'm saying? They could, just so you know.
Especially where bird feeders are found, of any kind.
I was just surprised she was able to get into it on the window.
Yeah.
Because, by the way, window bird seeder, birds. Uh-oh, there is a voicemail. All right, let's cut to Bareface while I check this message from my dad's assisted living. We'll see if we have an emergency I have to deal with.
Okay, but don't put it on speakerphone.
No, I'm not going to do that. I will.
Put it up to your ear, and this is live television, people. It's live streaming on Facebook and YouTube and Periscope. And so I cannot see your Periscope comments because I'm over on this side of the table monitoring Facebook comments, of which I see none. So you people on Facebook, drop a comment so we know that you're still live or paying attention. That'd be good. So, there are several news stories that we didn't get to yesterday that we'll be looking at today. Excuse me. I'm still dealing with this head cold. Not cool. Cold, but not cool. And so the lead story about the smart TVs, I wonder if I could just jump into that, or I should wait till Stacy gets back. I'm going to maybe cue up the article here, which I thought I had, but the screen capture once again is not being cooperative. I'm going to switch it back between window and game. There we go. All right. I'm kind of curious about the call, but whatever. Over on, I'm not a good multitasker, over on WRAL.com, there's this article, how smart TVs in millions of U.S. homes track more than what's on tonight. I guess I could just read a little bit of the article, a little larger here perhaps. Whoops. Well, that wasn't very good. Cut to me. Yeah, let's I'll just switch this over to reader view. It's got this annoying graphic in that mode, but it is what it is. And it says the growing concern over online data and user privacy has been focused on tech giants like Facebook and devices like smartphones, but people's data is also increasingly being vacuumed right out of their living rooms via their television, sometimes without their knowledge. In recent years, data companies have harnessed new technology to immediately identify what people are watching on internet-connected TVs, then using that information to send targeted advertisements to other devices in their homes. Marketers, forever hungry to get their products in front of people most likely to buy them, have eagerly embraced such practices. But the companies watching what people watch have also faced scrutiny from regulators and privacy advocates over how transparent they're being with users. Anyway, the article goes on to talk about this one company called Samba TV, which is one of the bigger companies that track viewer information, and they're actually looking what's on the screen. In addition, they can use a smartphone's microphone, that's on the same network, and listen to what's going on TV and recognize things, which means they could also recognize things you're saying and what's going on in the house, which is why I have a microphone blocker on my Droid phone that seems to work pretty good. Anyway, Samba TV, she's giving a thumbs up. Stacy's giving a thumbs up to the voicemail, so I'm guessing that things are good. And going back to my Facebook comments, not seeing any Facebook comments. Wow, okay.
Jeez, that was a long message.
That was a long message.
Why is this? What the heck? Why are these other? Oh, there's two other messages. I'm not going to worry about those right now. All right.
All right, you want to come back on?
Yeah, let me come back on. Now that
you are.
Am I back on?
Yes, you are.
All right, I got to get back into Periscope. All right. Okay, yeah, everything's fine. Don't worry. My dad's fine. He's not dead or anything. In case you were wondering. I was wondering. Actually, it was his physical therapist calling to let me know that they are going to quit physical therapy with my dad because they've done all they can to help him out. But it took her a long time to tell me that, just so you know. Anyway, all right, so what story did you talk about?
I was talking about the how smart TVs.
Yeah, those smart TVs, the microphones, the cameras, they're everywhere, people. Yeah, they are. Okay, so
yeah, I'm scrolling down to find the statement from the.
There's so many of you in here today. Were you expecting a party or a big announcement about something? I'm just curious. I mean, I'm glad you're here. Oh, it's funny. Okay.
Yeah, this is.
Yes. Are you going to give us any heart scenes you're in there? Because I'm like, it's like dead. I mean, you don't have to.
Yeah. And just so there's not a talking head, I'm going to bring up the article text here.
Okay.
Thought this was an interesting sort of thing.
Am I back at the beginning? Oh, no. I'm going to share this out.
Anyway, it says, Samba TV's language is clear, said Bill Adati, a spokesman. Each version has clearly identified that we use technology to recognize what's on screen, and that means even interpreting the pixels that are on the screen, because it's built into the TV rather than the provider. So rather than the cable provider or the Roku or direct who's ever feeding your internet TV, it's actually built into the TVs. They partner with the smart TV manufacturers, and it's software, or I guess it's firmware in the TV to actually look at the pixels and see what's on the screen and recognizing programming by its actual visual representation. Anyway, so back to this article. What I thought was interesting from the spokesman, he said each version has clearly identified that we use technology to recognize what's on screen to create benefit for the consumer as well as Samba, its partners and advertisers, he added. Still, David Kitchen, a software engineer in London, says he was startled to learn how Samba TV worked after encountering its opt-in screen during a software update on his Sonia Bravia set. And like Sony's doing this, Vizio's doing this, they partner with a lot of manufacturers. Anyway, the opt-in read, interact with your favorite shows, get recommendations based on the content you love, connect your devices for exclusive content and special offers. By cleverly recognizing on-screen content, Samba Interactive TV lets you engage with your TV in a whole new way. Well, is that true? Yes. Is it completely, forthcoming? Well, it does interact with your favorite TV shows, and you do get recommendations based on the content you love. Well, yeah, from all their, you get recommendations of what to buy and, where to eat and all sorts of things based on not only what you watch, but other patterns, and connect your devices for exclusive content and special offers. Well, I guess it's exclusive,
sure.
And it says by cleverly recognizing on-screen content, Samba Interactive TV lets you engage with your TV in a whole new way. Yeah, it's kind of like talking about euphemisms. It sounds all great. This is for you, rather than this is for us to collect all sorts of data and sell it to the highest bidder. And
so there was quite a few comments that came in.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to scroll back through just so, let's see. Okay. So, okay. First of all, Bobby Dog 17 writes, I apologize for what I said on your show yesterday. Wish you the best. Well, I accept your apology. And I meant what I said. Okay. Steven says, I'm just listening. You are. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Sounds insane. So if I walk around, I think that's supposed to be naked, right? In my bedroom, can the TV show people and watch us sleep? Tracy says, can you turn off microphone and camera on a smart TV? And then Gary's Only Girl says, be careful with the free laptops the schools give to the kids. It's interesting. How many of you, just for fun, are aware of Catherine Albrecht? Do you know who she is? Just put a 1 if you know who Dr. Catherine Albrecht is. Because she is, or she, as far as I know, she's still living. I hope she is. If not, I hope nothing happened to her. She's the author of a book called Spy Chips. Many years ago, she wrote this book called Spy Chips because way back, many years ago, when grocery stores decided that they were going to start with their customer loyalty programs, right? Okay, so, and then all of a sudden, whatever grocery store you went to, they gave you a card, right? And then you scan it and they're like, oh my gosh, now they know exactly what you have, right? So, okay, some of you guys know who she is. Okay, well, she's the one that put on the map the whole idea of all these places spying on you, right? So if you were to go to her website, I'm trying to see if it's, I don't know why it's not coming up, which concerns me. She had cancer at one point, and I'm not sure if she's still alive. I think she's alive. Hold on a minute. Maybe I'm spelling her name wrong. No, it's right there. Maybe it's just not coming up. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, yeah, she's with the Genesis Communications Network. Okay, good. She's still living. That's a good thing. Whew. She's my age. I had no idea. I thought she was older than I was. Anyway... Anyway, she's the one that started to warn everybody about how all the information that's being gathered about us is being tucked away and certain things. And anyway, a number of years ago, she started talking about the spy TVs and things like that. It started out in the computer, you know. The big thing was don't put a camera in your computer because, you know, then the predators, they can get you and your kids and all that. And now the smart TVs are doing the exact same thing. So I'm going to assume you read the article, right?
Yes, I did.
Did it talk? It's, if I'm recalling if it's the article, I think it is. It's the one that talked about how hackers can get into the API.
Certainly, that's.
And that's how they can break in.
That's not. Even though the title of this article. No, that's not, I guess no. This is a different one. But one thing that I found interesting, two more things I want to read from this article. Here. Jeffrey Chester, executive director of the Center for Digital Democracy, said few people review the fine print in their zeal to set up their new televisions. And by fine print, he means on the simple opt-in that appears when you start up your new TV. Hey, do you want, Samba TV lets you interact with your TV, your smart TV in a whole new way and get exclusive offers, blah, blah, blah. And it says you're agreeing to the privacy policy and terms. And the privacy policy is like 4,000 words, and the terms of service is another 6,500 words. If you go through those to review those. So that's what he means by fine print. Going back to that, said few people review the fine print in their zeal to set up their new televisions. He said the notice should also describe Samba's TV's device map, which matches TV content to mobile gadgets, according to a document on his website, and can help the company track users in their office, in line of the food truck, and on the road as they travel. Certainly your mobile carrier can do that. They can track that. But this brings it, ties things together, because, your smart TV is on the web, and then so the software not only looks at what you're watching, but discovers other devices on the same network. They say, oh, well, this phone belongs to, this household, And so they know what you watch, whether you watch the conservative or the liberal news programs, whatever. And then they've identified that mobile device belongs to you, or at least was on your network. And so then later on they can, know where you're at physically at any point in time, and so the idea is to sell you more stuff, but just the invasion of privacy, and then getting on to when I read about the 4,000 word privacy policy and the 6,500 word terms of service, or maybe I got this backwards. Anyway, it's over 10,000 words of things you agree to by this simple opt-in. The spokesman later went on to say, that Daddy Dottie, I don't know how to pronounce his name. This is classic. He added, "We have millions of viewers who have explicitly opted into our service and have continued to use it for years. So it is a fair argument to make that far more consumers are satisfied with Samba than surprised by it." Okay, so because millions of people have explicitly opted into the service and continue to use it, it's fair to say they're completely satisfied with it rather than surprised by it. Well, maybe because they didn't take time to read the 10,000 words of stuff they were opting into and agreeing to, and maybe they're simply not aware of all the tracking that it does outside their home,
right,
and all that. So to say it's a fair argument to make that far more consumers are satisfied with Samba than surprised by it, I'd say far more would be surprised if they actually knew what was going on.
Yeah. I was just looking through Catherine Albrecht's stuff. Apparently she's gone dead. She's not dead, but she's gone pretty much dark on social media except for Twitter. Apparently she's retweeted some stuff in the last couple of years, but I guess
off the grid.
She's no longer doing her show. Yeah, she does cash only and stuff too. I mean, she's high tech as far as
or low tech as far as high tech goes.
Okay, so let's see what else. I saw Sylvia Sulin came in. Hope you're doing good. She says, with Echo, you give everyone permission to spy on you.
Oh, yeah.
Hearts and Stars says, I'm putting a sheet over the TV and other stuff when not in use, LOL. Big Brother sees you. Magnus says, now they ask questions to find out which political party you're affiliated with. Yeah. Well, if you guys really want to get freaked out, I highly recommend a documentary called Shadow Government. And it's by I think the late Grant Jeffrey, prophecy expert. He put it together. Catherine Albrecht is in it, a couple other people. And it basically talks about, the shadow government. But really, one of the big things that it talks about in that DVD, and you can probably watch it on Amazon or something, just look it up. It talks about how all the smart technology from your heating and air conditioning to your refrigerator, to your toaster, to anything that is super cool that you can go ahead and be connected to the internet. And it really talks about how much oversight and how much the government has actually infiltrated you in your house and stuff. I know Randall and I both have mic blockers on our phone because we actually did this experiment where we were like, okay, we're going to go ahead and start talking about a specific thing. Next thing you know, Facebook is giving us ads for it without us putting anything in type, because your messenger is open and, all that stuff. So it's kind of creepy in some ways. But Shadow Government, I don't know if it's on Amazon or Netflix, but let me look here for you. Because I watched it and it freaked me out. DVD. Okay. It's old too. It's it looks like you can get it for under $5 on eBay. You can get it for $1.99 at Barnes and Noble. It's actually a book too, but the DVD is what I'm talking about. The DVD. It does look like it's on Amazon. I don't know if it's on Prime or not. You can get it at christiancinema.com. Let's see here. Prime Video, you have to pay $3 to see it on Prime. That's what it looks like. But it's $3 worth seeing. I mean, just spend $3 and see it. Yeah, it came out in 2009 before actually, it came out before Grant Jeffrey died. By the way, it is by him. It's from the producers of the Left Behind movie, and the subtitle is How the Global Elite Plan to Destroy Democracy and Your Freedom. You remember it when we watched it?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, the article on hackers, the short article, basically says Consumer Reports found millions of smart TVs from major manufacturers can be controlled by even novice hackers who exploit easy-to-find security flaws. The problems affect Samsung televisions, along with TV models made by TCL and other brands that use the Roku TV platform, just so you know. But it does say a hacker could write code to control the TV without the user's permission. Testers demonstrated how a hacker could potentially take over TV, change channels, play offensive content, or turn the volume up to full blast. I mean, that doesn't sound harmful, totally annoying, but if there are those sort of, security holes in the software, then why couldn't they also get in, more sophisticated people get in on the data that like Samba TV is collecting and, exploit that.
Yeah, but there's, let's see here, other questions, comments. All my home is super surveilled. Yeah, you're in Sweden. Okay, one thing is government, but what about the rest of the companies or people? Well, Garcia, it's interesting because all you got to do is look out your door. Wherever you're driving, there's cameras everywhere. You're being watched everywhere. Gary's Only Girl, want to really have your mind blown, research CERN on YouTube. Yeah, CERN stands for the Chinese Ecosystem Research Network, and it is very interesting. Oh, wait, does it actually?
Maybe you're talking about maybe you're talking about a different CERN. If you're talking about the CERN Research Laboratory in Switzerland, and it's French words. I can't remember all of them.
Okay, so what do you think it means, smarty pants? I just looked it up. Okay, why? Okay, so absolutely, they're going to blast the black hole open. Well, it's interesting. Okay, wait, hold on. Claus said, I used to be just like you, a conspiracy theorist, and I'm much happier now. Well, what's interesting, Gary and everybody, is if you think about the black hole, the middle of the earth, all that stuff, and you look at the book that Ryan, seriously, Stacy,
are you thinking about the book that
Ryan
Doug Woodward did with Gan Shimura? And
I don't think of that one. I'm thinking of the other one. The one on the Nephilim, Judgment of the Nephilim. Ryan Peterson?
Yeah, Ryan Peterson.
Yeah, we had him on twice. Anyway, it doesn't actually address it in that book, but if you understand Genesis 6, the role of the angels, the demons, all that stuff, and the Nephilim, and, all this stuff that's in the Bible that nobody talks about except people like us, we talk about and get accused of being fringy. It's like, yeah. So if you read the Bible, you take it literally, then there is people under the earth, right? And so the access, the CERN, the portals, all this stuff, it makes sense if you actually look at it. Not only the black holes, but the demonic activity behind it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So, and that's the thing, But you're a weirdo if you talk about it. You're such a weirdo. You're a conspiracy theorist wacko. How dare you take the Bible literally? I mean, actually, literally, you person, you. What's wrong with you? That type of thing. And it's funny because I am a massive skeptic, big time. But I met Sharon and Derek Gilbert probably 15 years ago. When I first started our company, which actually launched its way in many years ago, was something completely different than it is now. But yeah, right? You're happy to be a weirdo. But Derek and Sharon were the first people that I heard some of these weird things from. And they presented, I was actually given their books like 15 years ago. And anyway, long story short, it was probably 10 years ago, maybe. I don't remember. Derek interviewed me on his show, and to make a long story short, I got connected with some other people. L.A. Marzulli became a friend, and I was like the first person to interview him. And then all the prophecy watchers and prophecy in the news at the time and all these other people started talking about this. Tom Horn came on the scene, started talking about transhumanism, all this stuff. And it was like me and Randall were just like going, oh my gosh, there's like one piece here in the puzzle, another piece here. And it just started making sense. And because I used to hate science fiction, I'm not a big fan of it. But when you look at science fiction and what science fiction in the media teaches you, what was one of the real turning points for me and going, oh my gosh, this is like too creepy, was the TV show V. And that was on a couple years ago. Was it 2010, 2009, something like that? I don't remember. But that show, if you can watch that archived somewhere, I don't know where it is playing, maybe on Netflix, I'm not sure. You'd have to look it up. If you watch that show V, the lady that plays, what's her name? I want to say, well, she plays the head alien.
Okay, the head alien. With
What's her name?
With her bliss.
Yeah.
The actress's name?
Or the character's name.
Anna.
Anna, that's what it is. Okay. So the character that plays her,
I think that's the
I think that's right. She actually gives you, to me, if you want to study in deception, that show is it. And I remember seeing that show going, oh my gosh, this is completely demonic and all this other stuff, because we actually talked about UFOs and cattle mutilations and all these weird things that were going on. But the funny thing is if you actually do the research, just go into Google News and put in these terms and have them sent to you daily, you'll start to see a pattern of all this stuff. And you're like, okay, this is bizarre. How could all this be going on? But yet the mainstream media is not talking about it. Alternative media, or the new media, if you will, talks about it, but the church doesn't talk about it. Then when you get the actual church, talking about it and then going, okay, here's what the Bible says, here's what's going on, you put it together and you're like, oh my gosh, it's right there. Now, it's not the V from the 1980s. It's from a couple of years ago.
2009.
2009. Because anyway, it was that. And then, we started getting connected to some other people, and next thing you know, we're like, okay, I'm totally sold on this idea. And then Ryan Pitterson, his book, The Judgment of the Nephilim, if you actually just get that book and read through it, it's a complete Bible study on the history of the Nephilim and the judgment that God put, on the world as a result of it. And yet your church is too busy helping you have your best life now when they're not actually telling you or teaching you Bible prophecy, which will actually motivate you to go out and share the gospel. If you really believe the Bible. I mean, if you really believe hell exists, then you want to share the gospel with people, right? I mean, that's what it's ultimately about, in my opinion. It's just my opinion, though. The church never talks about any of what's really going on. That's pretty accurate, actually. Or if they do, then it's really up here. It's just super, like, the word Nephilim is in the Bible. That's it. There's no, it's like the stories of David and Goliath, right? It goes that's it. Goliath was a giant, but what kind of giant was he? I mean, how did he become a giant? And where was he from? What were the other tribes around? I mean, there's so much in that if the pastor had the time or took the time to actually do it, then the church would be so much more, equipped to go and share the gospel. And yet, that's why these prophecy conferences are, so popular. By the way, in October, Prophecy Watchers is having their second annual Prophecy Watchers Conference, which I think Randall and I are going to go to. I think it's the plan. It's a few days after my big 5-0, people. That's the only outside of the church. Hey, hold on, let's see. That's only the outside of the church you're slamming. That doesn't make any sense to me. Why you said that. I must have missed something. Okay, anyway. So,
I'm still showing no comments on Facebook.
Well, I only show one person watching. That's probably me.
Oh, well, there was 3 a while ago.
Oh, there was? Okay.
There
you
were
want to go
3.
deeper into the
yeah, only
word.
1 now.
Oh, okay, there are classes, yeah. Well, that's part of the reason we exist, actually. I know we're not an in-depth Bible study every day, but we are something, hopefully. Hopefully we mean something to you. By the way, I should tell you that if you are interested in the theology and stuff, you know, one of the benefits to Legal Shield, becoming a member of Legal Shield, is that you pay a low monthly fee, and it really is low. I mean, it really is. It's $25 a month. It's $24.95 a month for an individual and a family per member. Anyway, and you can call a lawyer. You can talk to them about anything you want. And if they can't deal with the case, they'll send you to another referring lawyer. You can get 25% off if it's a particular case. In fact, I just got off the phone literally before the show with a lawyer who's going to be writing me a letter on behalf of me to somebody who ripped me off in business. So it's definitely a good thing. But one of the other things that they do is they actually will review contracts and things for you. So if you have a contract or something like a terms of service or something that you don't get, then if it's up to 15 pages, you can send it over to the lawyer and they can read it. So that's one of the benefits to becoming. Vicki Fitch did that a couple of years ago with Catch. You guys remember Catch? Those of you who are on Periscope, you do. They're the ones that were catching all your video in the beginning 3 years ago, and they eventually closed down. Well, she had the Legal Shield attorney look at that contract, and deep down in there somewhere, it basically said if you use the service, that they can take all your content and do whatever they want with it. You basically gave up your rights. So that's just a benefit to Legal Shield, just so you know. And also, I should tell you that if you go to my Twitter account, there's a 1-minute survey on there. I'd like all of you guys to take it and fill it out. You have to give me your email. I think it also asks for your phone number. But if you fill that out, then I can get back to you and talk to you a little bit more about that too. And actually, just fill it out. Even if you don't want to talk to me about Legal Shield, just fill it out anyway, because I am curious about your answers to the questions on there, just to get a feel for our audience. Okay? Because just saying, anyway.
We're almost 43 minutes into this
I know.
broadcast.
The other thing is, though, too, ID Shield. Remember last week we were telling you about the 112-year-old World War II veteran who had his identity stolen and all his money in his bank account ripped off from these scoundrels that did that? Well, there was an article that was put out, I think it was like yesterday, saying that Bank of America, which was the bank that got hacked, basically, where they did they stole his money. Bank of America has now reinstated all of this guy's money. So that's good news. I just thought I'd share that with you. But if you want to have your stuff monitored, ID Shield is also really good to get. It's $9.95 a month for an individual, and it's something like I think it's $19.95 for a family. And basically they start with your social, your passport, everything. It's not just your bank. Most people think if my bank is being monitored, it's one thing, but if, all these other things aren't. Your driver's license not monitored. There's a whole bunch of stuff. And then there's all these perks, people. I keep telling you about the perks. That's why I said, fill out the form. If I get enough people to do an interest little workshop that have you guys on video, then I can show all of you the perks at one time. And then you can go, yeah, I need to get this because it's just going to help you. That's all it's going to do. True story. Okay. Do you want to tell them about the Bible study in Ariel?
I can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, if you head on over to our website at BibleNewsRadio.com, click on the resources item on the top menu, bring you to the resources page, and on the top row you'll see this month, courtesy of Ariel Ministries, offering a free Bible study, The Ministries of the Holy Spirit. And this is focusing on the two types of ministries, the Holy Spirit, the ministries in relation to salvation, which are one-time events, and the ministries relevant to spiritual growth, which are repeated experiences. This is a free 42-page Bible study by Dr. Arnold G. Fruchtenbaum, And don't have to sign up for an email list, anything like that. Just click the download button, and it'll download this large PDF to your device, your computer, or mobile phone, whatever. Anyway, free gift to you from Ariel Ministries. If you want to check out some of the other stuff they offer for purchase, back there in the resources page, you'll see things like eschatology and some study resources from Messianic Rabbi Model Ballaston. And
yeah, this is great stuff, you guys.
Definitely encourage you to check out the Yeshua Life of Messiah from Messianic Jewish Perspective series. Volume 4 has just been released, the fourth and final volume in the series. But if you want to do not so much reading and still get the important content of that study, you can get the abridged edition. And you'll find a link to that on
just get something.
And then
seriously,
anytime that you might get from Ariel Ministries, be it a $3 Bible study or something like that, you can save 20% when you use the coupon code Bible News, just like this program, Bible News Radio. But as Bible News, use that coupon code anytime, anything, save 20%. So I strongly encourage you to check out what they have to offer at ariel.org.
Yeah, in case you guys...
Let me put you on since...
I was just going to say, in case you guys don't know, Ariel has been literally sponsoring us for almost 2 years now. And I have to tell you that whenever we have guests on the show who actually, and they hear that Ariel is sponsoring us, they're like, oh my gosh, how did you get Dr. Arnold Fruchtenbaum's ministry to sponsor you? Because they know what top-notch, I mean, he's one of the top Messianic Jewish teachers in the world, usually booked 3 to 5 years in advance for speaking and doing Bible teaching all over the world. And if you like what me and Randall teach or what we've taught as far as that goes, he is my discipler. I mean, Dr. Fruchtenbaum is the guy that changed my life spiritually because of the teaching that he teaches, which is completely biblical. It's in its context. It changed my life. I was like, oh my gosh, what the heck here? That's that. I tried to sign up, said there was an issue and that you were notified. What did you try to sign up for? Now I'm confused. I asked, because we've talked about a couple of things. Just tell me what you tried to sign up for. And then I'll let you know if I got anything. Thanks. I don't know what that's for. But Dr. Fruchtenbaum, anyway, is, you can't go wrong with his teaching. And Model Ballaston, we've had him on the show a couple times. He was mentored by Arnold as well. So let's see here. I'm just waiting for the answer.
I'm just thinking for our podcast listeners.
By the way, if you're a podcast listener, I need to hear from you. We just renewed our podcast subscription, and I just would like to know who listening to the podcast is listening, because we have to pay to do that. And so, if you're getting a benefit from it, then I would ask that you go ahead and consider donating to our show for the podcast, because that's not free for us to do. Stacey and Randall, can we pray over the abortion clinic that they can change their mind? Yeah, anytime. Well, and the truth of the matter is abortion is they're losing, I don't know what this is. Let's see here. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and block you because you're not real. There, I blocked that person.
EchoBot? Or?
I don't know what it is, but there's nobody following them. So, I'm still waiting for the question about who signed up for whatever. Just trying to... I think it was you that said that. Gary's Only Girl, was that you that said that? Trying to see who it was. Yeah, it was you. So I'm not sure what it is you signed up for.
Well, I suspect that there's a story that you sent to me today. I don't know if you want to get to that before we run out of time.
You were blocked. From what?
I just want to.
I'm not sure. What was it you tried to sign up for, though? Yeah, you can get to another story. I'll just wait for the answer. Bible News Radio.
Well,
Like for the email? On the email list? Or something else? Because there's a couple of things there. Sorry. Well, if it was our email, we'll have to look into it and see if I got a new subscription. Because I actually don't. The podcast. Oh, over on Spreaker. Okay, Bible News Radio on Spreaker. Yeah, okay. Okay, so you listen to it? Okay, that's good. That's good to know. Someone
right.
here blocked you. Oh, maybe somebody blocked your comment because they're being a butthead. That's possible.
But-
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know who that was, but glad you're back. Okay, Randall, go for the other.
But I didn't read the article. You sent it to me earlier.
Which one?
The protect natural gender counseling.
Oh, the one that I sent you today?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an update on the bill that is going to be passed over the bill that they're trying to pass in California. The good news is that they have now shelved it for another month. So that's the one that would ban homosexual counseling. That one.
One that would prohibit people for getting counseling for unwanted same-sex attraction.
Yeah. That one right there. Anyway, so yeah, so that's good news. Why don't you just read it? Because do you have it?
Yeah, it's kind of long,
Well, we can read part of it.
but we've got like
Or I can just read some of it.
whatever. We've got
It's AB 2943. So basically what happened is that they were supposed to vote on it at the end of last week, I think it was, but instead they decided to shelf it because there's been so much controversy about it. So these people are actually going, and they're going on summer vacation or whatever, and I guess about a month they're going to go ahead and they're going to pick it back up and all that. In fact, I actually just got a request from somebody who works with, they're a therapist that actually has worked with transgendered individuals. They've done some research, and I'm actually in the process of booking them for the show. Oh, and speaking of that, next Tuesday, if you're available, and I hope you are, next Tuesday is going to be an epic show because Julie Roys is going to be my guest. Julie used to host a show over on Moody Radio Network, and she recently blew the whistle on some of the corruption over at Moody Radio. I think it was Moody Bible Institute in particular. But anyway, because she wrote some stuff on her blog, she uncovered the dirt there in the ministry at Moody, she lost her job. And so she's going to be coming on our show. First of all, I'm totally excited because she's very affiliated with Ann Paulk and the Restored Hope Network and my friend Stephen Black. And she's been on the front lines. Julie has actually trying to educate the church like me, trying to educate and say, hey, you know what? Why is it that the gospel is good for everything except this one issue? Right? The gospel can change people's lives, for any other sin, but the one with same-sex attraction. And the church doesn't like to address it, right? I mean, I can tell you that the Restored Hope Network they're under attack all the time because they have the nerve to say, oh my gosh, as somebody who struggles with same-sex attraction can get help and can change. And so anyway, Julie is going to be on my show. I am really looking forward to it. Actually, Melinda Correa Schmidt, who used to co-host the radio show Midday Connection, was the one that referred her to me. And actually, I've had Melinda on the show in the past a couple of times too. But Julie is she's a woman who stands by her convictions, and she's actually paid for it, unfortunately, from a Christian university. So our next scope is When are you going to do something on Sunday, you think?
Probably.
Probably Sunday night then.
Maybe even Saturday night.
Maybe Saturday night. Is there an echo in here?
Is there an echo in
But
here?
every day we do our show at 4:00 Central Time.
Daily, Monday through Friday.
Unless there's some special, issue that we have.
Like a national holiday, something
Yeah, we
like
do
that.
our best to be on at 4:00. So just, send an alarm on your phone. Say, hey, 4:00, I'm going to be here. And that would be super cool, by the way. Yeah, it will. Okay. But next Tuesday for sure, Julie Roy's talk show host extraordinaire, going to be my guest. I'm so excited. And what's sad is I actually never listened to her show. I probably shouldn't say that, but I didn't. And, but I'm looking forward to meeting her because she's on the right side. Because the Revoice conference that's getting all this bad press from a lot of people is out there trying to promote that you can be gay and actually Christian, and it's just not true. It's so anyway.
Yeah, it's one thing to have same-sex attraction and be a believer, as it is to struggle with any sort of temptation. It's not a sin to be tempted. It's quite another thing to identify as some, to take on some sinful behavior as your identity. I'm a Christian alcoholic. I'm a Christian drug user. I'm a Christian adulterer. Or, I'm a Christian, yeah.
Oh yeah, before I forget, I should also tell you, speaking of that, why not talk about the children? It's interesting because we do, and that's actually how I actually got involved in this fight as a marriage and family therapist, and all that. Oh yeah, yesterday Alice, who's a friend of ours, who's been tuning into the show for quite some time, she actually told me about this new movement called, I gotta click on the thingy.
Just walk away.
It's called #WalkAway. And apparently what this is they're titling it the Unsilent Minority. And if you go to walkawaycampaign.com, it says here, the Walkaway Campaign is a true grassroots movement. It is a video campaign movement dedicated to sharing the stories of people who can no longer accept the current ideology of liberalism and what the Democratic Party has become. Some left long ago. Many of us have recently been red-pilled. Some here have wanted to leave for some time but have feared the consequences they might suffer from friends or family if they walk away. This group is here to encourage and support those on the left to walk away from the divisive tenets by allowing people to share their stories or watch the video testimonies and read the posts of others who have walked away. But this campaign also serves another very important purpose. For far too long, the left has controlled the narrative in this country in news and media, while the silent majority on the right have done what they always do, remained silent, which is actually true. That is true. The left has been allowed for so long to reinforce the narrative that everybody on the right is a bigot, a racist, a homophobe, a misogynist, etc. But the left has become so extreme, it's now time to fight back. I want people on the right to use their voices to tell the world the truth about who they are. Please make a video telling everyone what it means to be a conservative in America, what your values really are. Tell minorities on the left who have been told their whole lives that they are not welcome on the right because of the bigotry and hatred of the people on the right that they are welcome, that there is a seat at the table on the right for everyone. This is a movement of patriots of all walks of life, men, women, black, brown, white, straight, LGBTQ, religious, non-believers, who share something very important in common. We are American, and we will not surrender our country. Please enjoy the video testimonials and posts, and please leave one of your own. I personally will not do that, and here's why. I will say why. Because I don't trust people on the left, and I'm not going to get involved in a movement co-partnering with people who have marginalized the right for so long. That's just not going to happen. And it's a trick of the left, in my opinion. And whether or not, these people are all, sincere or not, I don't know. But I'm not playing, just so you know. I don't know, Bareface, what do you think?
As far as?
Well, would you put a video talking about what it's like to be, marginalized so badly by the left In particular, the homosexual lobby and the Democratic Party, which is really communist at this point. No offense if you're a Democrat, by the way.
I don't know. I may not, because it just seems like fodder for...
Well, unity at all costs until they get you where they want, and then they set you up, pull out the rug out from underneath your feet, and then they're like, there's proof right there that you're a homophobe, a bigot, you're a terrorist, you're all these evil things, you're a, what do they call it? Deplorable.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm kind of fed up with the political incivility
Hi, Darren.
from both sides of the aisle on social media. I mean, they're not to say the bulk are this or that, but
I
there's
don't see it in my social media. That's the funny thing. I don't know. Maybe it's just I pick good friends. I don't see the incivility on my Facebook page. Everybody always talks about it. I'm like, I'm not seeing it.
Okay.
But
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Well, it's after 5 p.m.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so
Which
any of you
one?
guys have any questions? Wow, did I walk in at the wrong time? Well, no, you walked in at the end of the show. We start at 4, just so you know. You were late, but that's okay. We forgive you. It's all right that you were late. All right, and there's Annie. Annie, you're late too, but that's all right. Are we okay in here? Yeah, you're okay. We're talking about this new movement called the walk away movement, where people on the left are walking away in order to join the right, to give the right a voice. I'm going to awaken those missing children. Good. I hope you do. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't look at people. See, maybe this is just me, but I don't look at people based on what they call themselves. Right? I mean, like if you came up to me and you're like, hey, you know what? I'm a Democrat, I'm pro-choice, and I'm a lesbian, or I'm gay, or whatever. I'd be like, okay, and your point? You want me to identify you by your belief system? Or, you know, as Mandisa sang in her song, we all bleed the same, right? We all, if you prick us, we bleed. Actually, my little arm surgery is starting to heal finally, in case you care. But the black and blue mark has lasted a while. You know, I mean, I think you should, some of my closest friends, this is the thing, some of my closest friends are politically opposite of me, and they're my closest friends. And it's because I love the person. I don't necessarily love everything that they believe, but I love them as a person, just like Jesus loves me as a person. And Jesus died for me, just like he died for you. He died for everybody. So it's like, you know, you gotta, you know, everybody has a parent, right? Everybody, Barry Sotero's here. I'm so honored. Why would anybody want to take Barack Hussein Obama's real name and use it as a name? Anyway, so yeah, I mean, God loves us because he created us, and you know, there are so many good qualities that people that you can disagree with actually have. You know what I mean? So, what's with my arm? I had a little thing removed from it. Yeah, it was just a little something. I don't know what it was. It was weird. The guy just put a needle in there and he burned it. It was gone. Well, what is your political outlook? For America? Well, let's see. I would say, I know Bareface wants to shut up or shut down, but this is Free for All Friday. Usually we go 15 minutes over. I would say that I think we're better off now than we were when Barack was in office. I don't completely trust Donald Trump, even though I voted for him. Bareface didn't vote for him. Division in the Harp household. I think that most things actually change at the local level, not at the national level. And I think that the Senate and the House of Representatives plays politics left and right. People are patting each other's backs, and they're, you know, and all the lobbyists have their things going on, and it takes forever to get anything really done. That's what I actually think. I think also that there is a shadow government behind the scenes that are actually the puppet masters who are taking care of all the money and the banks worldwide. And I think that what we see on TV is all staged. That's actually what I think. Should we as Christians be concerned with politics? I think so. I think God gave us, God created family and then the government. And so he gave us government, and he gave us, here in America anyway, I believe we're an anointed nation, I think. And I don't mean that in a weird way. I think that we're a nation that God set up on earth to help spread the gospel worldwide. And I think that if Christians were as concerned with the gospel as many of them are with politics, I think the gospel would be spread I think there would be more people talking about the gospel than politics. I think most Christians talk more about politics than the Lord. The Hebrews believes Messiah will be both politician and Messiah. That doesn't make sense. Wait, I missed something. Because after all, it's going to be business as usual. Well, I think what's interesting about the politics, though, geopolitics in particular, is that if you read Bible prophecy, there's going to be a one world government. And Christians need to be aware of that, right? We need to be aware that there's going to be a one world government, and the rise of the Antichrist is going to come up out of that. And there's going to be a peace treaty with Israel. And I think what happens is that there's not a lot of people in the church. When I say church, I mean universal, at least what I've seen here in America, that actually care about Israel and what's happening with Israel. I think more people need to be concerned with what's going on in Israel, because I think that's the time clock. Right? God gave us Donald Trump. So what do you think about the separation of church and state? I think the separation of church and state is found in the Soviet, the former USSR Constitution. It's not found anywhere here in the American Constitution. And people take it from a letter that was written to the Danbury Baptist Church, and they completely misconstrue what it means. They don't actually look at what it means. Could a one world government be good? It will be for a couple of years, and then it's going to be hell on earth. At least that's my understanding. So, yeah. And the thing is as far as separation of church and state, you can't separate your faith from who you are if you're really a believer. And that's what countries have been trying to do forever. And that's why we're in the mess we're in. That's why people say, well, don't talk about politics and religion because those are too divisive. You can only talk about your religion in the church, and that's it. Or now in your house. Don't talk about it anywhere else because, it's not a good thing. And you're like, but I have to share the gospel with people because I don't want them to go to hell. So I want them to know about Jesus. That's what I want to tell them about. So what you do is you tell them about Christ, and if you end up breaking the law, Paul, I think it was, or maybe it was Peter, said we must obey God rather than man. And so as a result, in the book of Acts, they were sent to jail because of what they did. Well, Jesus did speak the principle of separation in church and state. If he did, I don't know where that's at, Darren. So you could cite me a couple of verses and I'll look them up because I don't know where that's at. So you have anything to add? Or you just want to take a nap because you're not feeling good. Bareface still isn't feeling good.
I don't want to take a nap. But as far as, Christians' concerns with politics, 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 1, Paul exhorts that supplication, prayers, and intercessions, giving thanks be made for all men and for kings and for all that are in authority. Why? That we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and honesty. And so, that's hard to do, to live a quiet and peaceful life in all godliness and honesty, if the government is demanding that you live ungodly and do ungodly things and do dishonest things. So it behooves us as believers to be interested in politics and involved in politics so far as it allows us to live, a quiet and peaceful life in all godliness and honesty.
Yes. So there you have it. I'm not sure. Okay, I guess that's it. Maybe you should move to a Christian-only country then. Have the asteroids struck France yet? Magnus, I have no idea. Yeah, the problem is, as far as I know, there aren't any Christian-only countries anymore. I can tell you that Islam has committed genocide all over Nigeria and other places, and Christians are the number one persecuted religion in the world. And that's actually according to a new I think it's a Pew Research study that they did on 144 countries in the world that actually persecute Christians, which you're not hearing about in the mainstream media because they don't care, because they're like against Christians too. So there you go, just so you know. And they're a threat. Christians are a threat to the world. That's why these governments and people are persecuting them. So that's it. All right, everybody. Randall isn't feeling well, and it is Friday night, so I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening. Thank you for tuning into the show. Sorry that I had to be interrupted in the first part of it, but just so you know, everything with my dad is fine. And you guys know how it is when you have an almost 90-year-old parent, really. I mean, he's old. Anyway. So we will talk to you on Monday, and maybe Randall will be doing a Bible study later tomorrow or Sunday. We're not sure yet, but just keep your notifications on. Follow us on social media at Bible News Radio everywhere. And, and remember what I always say at the end of every show: be bold, stand up, and go with God, because he loves you. All right. Have a good day, and go play pickleball too, because remember, pickleball rocks.